What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast, being presented by BetMGM right here on BettingPros.com. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. We are here each and every morning on YouTube for video and wherever you get your audio podcasts. And we are here with that offer for BetMGM, the $20 offer to win $100 at any event. Juice 100, the promo code, and I have a BetMGM bet for you today. I bet you can find at BetMGM that I like, that I think is worth playing. You can use the promo code. You can use that Juice100 $20 bet to win $100 on any event on that bet. If you would like it, it's in baseball. Yuck, but it's in baseball. All right, let me tell you quickly about what happened yesterday. And so the baseball bet for the Red Sox and the Rays falls short. Red Sox got hit by COVID hard, and I mean really hard. It is hard to determine what the Red Sox are going to look like today against the Rays. So there may be an ad to jump in with the Rays, but it might be so disgustingly juiced up that it might not be worth it. But Boston's in real trouble. The Rays are really good. Rays scored 6 runs. Red Sox didn't do anything, and that was really frustrating because if the Red Sox did just about anything, we would have hit that over 8.5. But couldn't get there. They only scored 7, so we fall short with that with a half a unit. Now, it is a little bit of a discrepancy on the second bet. So, COVID hit the Giants. I was on Johnny Cueto and the Giants on the reverse run line at plus 1.5 at minus 130. But the Giants have COVID, and it knocked out Johnny Cueto. So, I bet using the bet with Johnny Cueto. So, my bet refunded. So, it's a no play. Although, if you played action, it is a play, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy. How we normally do it is we say that whatever happened with my play, that's the official play. And so my bet refunded, so it's an 0-1 day on the night. At the time of taping, it's a 3-1 lead for Milwaukee. So technically that bet, I don't know what happens in the bottom of the ninth inning, though. So Giants may come back and win the game. They may score 1 run in the ninth, and then we cash. I don't know, but it doesn't matter because my bet refunded, so I'm out of this game. If you got locked in, that's why betting action sometimes works. It's better to be, good regardless, but I did want Johnny Cueto pitching in this game for the Giants, and unfortunately they get hit with COVID right before. So COVID for the Red Sox, COVID for the Giants. I mean, this is something we have to take into consideration coming up here for the NFL and college football. We're going to have COVID issues. We have them right now in the Colts, and whether or not they're going to have their starting center and their starting quarterback available to play for them coming up in the opener against Seattle. Now, if they 10-day quarantine and if they're positive and they're not just close contact, it's Wednesday of next week before Carson Wentz goes back to the facility to play and practice with his team. That is significant. It's a really big deal. He could play, which is good, but coming off of a foot surgery and missing, 3 weeks and then getting COVID, that's horrible. We've got COVID outbreaks going on in other teams as well. And, baseball's got their problems. College football, for the most part, has been pretty good with the vaccine. So we haven't heard too much about college football issues, but I'm sure we're going to have them. At some point, I guarantee we're going to have a team that gets impacted. And most conferences have made the ruling that if you cannot play, you forfeit. Now, what do the books do? We have not heard officially from the books as to whether or not they'll put a score up. Technically, it's a 1-0 win in college and a 2-0 win in the NFL, historically speaking. So if you've bet it and you bet the dog and it's a 1-0 victory and you got +5, you should technically cash your bet, but each book's going to be different. House rules, once again, come in a big, big way. So yesterday I told you that I'm going to give you a football play for week 1 in college football every day this week. And I'm going to limp with baseball with 1 or 2 plays, and that's it. Because I'm going to get revved up for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, okay? We just need to get through Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we are rolling into college football. So yesterday I gave you Central Florida -4.5. I've got another play for you guys coming up on Saturday. And tomorrow I'll give you a play that will come up later on in the weekend. Before we give you the one baseball play and the one college football play, it's time to talk about our friends over at BleacherBook.us. Great new game, great new concept. Allows you to play against your friends in a league-style betting format to figure out who really knows what the heck they're talking about. NFL football betting right around the corner. Time to ditch those old, boring fantasy leagues and get in on the action. You create weekly or season-long leagues. Leagues are fully customizable. As you're the commissioner, you decide the length of the league, number of players, starting wallet amount, minimum bet requirements, and more. Bleacher Book gives you the thrill of sports betting without losing your shirt, and you compete against your friends for betting glory. Get signed up at bleacherbook.us. Start and create your own league today. Use that promo code JUICE20 to get a 20% off of a Bleacher Book league you create coming up this season. That is JUICE20 when you sign up at bleacherbook.us. Big bets, no regrets. Promo code JUICE20. That's bleacherbook.us. All right, let's talk about Alabama and Miami. Oh my, the Crimson Tide. They are going to be loaded. I was waiting before I placed my wager. I wanted for Bama just to officially announce Bryce Young being their starting quarterback. And yep, they did that today. Bryce Young will start coming up against Miami coming up on Saturday for week number 1. Alabama 13-0 last year, the national champs. They only returned 3 offensive starters, 8 on defense. The 8 on defense is a really big deal because that, I think, is what Bama is going to be this year. I think Bama's going to be a defensive juggernaut. I don't think people are going to score much on Alabama. I think they've got some real nice weapons in the backfield led by Brian Robinson, who I think will become a household name. John Mechie is a massive weapon receiver for this Alabama team. I think they're going to go back to pounding the rock, using the tight end, and using the legs of their quarterback, frankly, in Bryce Young. Alabama has won their last 19 season openers and their last 10 neutral site games by an average of 25 points. Bama, 9-4 last year against the spread, 3-0 neutral field. Over the last 4 years, Alabama has opened the year with a 42-3 win over Duke, a 51-14 win over Louisville, a 24-7 win over Florida State, and a 52-6 win over USC. You see the theme there? You don't score on Bama early. Not when they're healthy, not when they're revved up and ready to go. I think this Bama team gets told over and over again during the fall, they stink. You're awful. You're not getting drafted. You're not going anywhere. You're just not that good. And then Bama goes out and takes it out on the first team of the year because, well, they're so tired of hitting each other and so tired of being told negative things by their head coach that they go out and go crazy. And it's so difficult to score against these guys early on a neutral field. Bama just brings a ton of people with them, and it's really exciting to see, and it's really wild to watch Alabama fans travel. Neutral site game here with Miami, who Miami lost to LSU in Florida in 18 and 19 to start the year at a neutral site. De'Aaron King's awesome. I love the kid at Houston. I love him at Miami. But the problem is he's small, and he gets hit. And when you're fast, that's great. Bama is really, really fast. That's the problem with this defense. It's like, okay, your quarterback is great, but their linebackers run like quarterbacks. Their secondary guys run like quarterbacks. Being a 4-3 guy is great, but they've got 4-4 guys right behind you. Miami 8-3 last year, but 5-6 against the spread. Manny Diaz has a defense that's going to be pretty good. They return 9 starters on that defense, but they play a lot of man-to-man. And against Bama, oh my gosh, playing man-to-man is not great. You're going to lose a bunch of one-on-one matchups with Alabama. I think that's bad news here. I think Miami's going to be decent. I think they're going to be a decent team, a player in the ACC, but not against Alabama here. We don't have a first half line. I will be on that as well. But 18.5, I'm taking it now, and I already took it because I think that number starts to climb. I think the number will close somewhere around 20, 21 points. I guess I'm expecting some buyback from the pros when it gets to be as high as 3 touchdowns because Bama has been known at times to let up. But Miami recruits where Alabama recruits and vice versa. Miami is a very fertile recruiting ground for Alabama, and I think that's a significant deal for Nick Saban. I think he wants to go out there and put a hurting here on Miami, send a message saying, hey, look, if you're a kid in South Florida, come to Alabama. Don't go to Miami. I don't think this game's going to be all that close. Alabama, minus 18.5. We're going to lay it here against Miami in the opening weekend. Okay, so first two plays, Central Florida minus 4.5 at home against Boise, and Alabama on a neutral field, minus 18.5 coming up against the Miami Hurricanes. All right, so just one baseball play to talk about here today, and that is the Blue Jays up against the Orioles, and our good friend Keegan Aiken going again for the Orioles. I tend to circle this dude's, how this guy pitches. I tend to go and circle it and take a look at it. The Blue Jays are averaging 7.1 runs per game against the Orioles this year. On the year, the Blue Jays are top 5 in runs scored. They average 5 runs per game on the year. Aiken on the road is 0-5 with an 8.25 ERA, and against the Blue Jays this year, he's 0-1 with a 12.46 ERA. 2 years in the bigs, 3 starts against the Toronto Blue Jays, 7.71 ERA, 3 games, 4 home runs given up here to these Blue Jays. And when you look at the way these games have been played and how many runs are getting scored in these games, I mean, the Blue Jays are scoring a bunch. And yes, there has been some games where you could say, well, Matt, the Blue Jays recently haven't been scoring a ton of runs. They scored 7 against the Blue Jays in the first game here. Look, I think this team comes back and scores a bunch of runs coming up here today. BetMGM has the team total for the Toronto Blue Jays at 5.5. Over 5.5 is minus 135. You can go play 6 if you want. You've got 6 over minus 110. You've got 6 at FanDuel if you want to go play that, but 5 at minus 110. But at minus 135, I'm going to take the opportunity just to cash a ticket on 6 runs to be scored here. First 5, I thought about it. You can get at DraftKings. You actually can get 3.5 runs in the first 5 at minus 110. But I decided to take a little bit of a longer guess on this. In case we get an Aiken performance that's halfway decent, the Orioles bullpen is bad. Okay, it's really, really bad. We know this. I mean, Aiken got his first win. We went against him in his last start, and he got his first win of the year up against the Angels in a 13-1 win. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Okay, so let's just say he goes 5 and gives up 3 runs. I want the Blue Jays' chance to get after that big, I want to see them get after it and hit a bunch of home runs here up against this, against the bullpen for the Orioles. So we'll take 5.5 at minus 135 for a half a unit officially. Blue Jays over 5.5 runs at minus 135 at BetMGM to jump on in and get a hold of this one coming up here, okay? So that's where we are here. Blue Jays to score over 5.5 runs at a half a unit, okay? So, look, I am potentially going to jump in with something else here in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, or underneath me here on YouTube. I may do that, but I'm not going to push it, okay? 0-1 yesterday. If we go 0-1 today, we're going to kind of limp through here and get to Thursday where I'm much more confident and I'm much more comfortable. We will have, most likely, I'll have 3 games going in college football. We'll have 3 plays going, at least 2, maybe 3 games we're going to bet for college football on Thursday, but we just have to get through Tuesday and Wednesday, okay? So the official plays for us here, 1 unit, by the way. Someone asked yesterday, college football plays are going to be 1 unit. Unless I specify, it's going to be 1 unit. And just so you know, you might go, well, why are you playing half unit on baseball and 1 unit on football? Well, because COVID's a big deal, okay? And I just think COVID is... I can't play full units in baseball. I just can't do it. I can't do it with COVID. I just can't do it with my record and how I am. I'm just not comfortable. But college football is different right now because of most of these teams are fully vaccinated. Most of these teams are not dealing with COVID the same way as they are in the pros. So I just think it's a better play. It's a safer play to go with full unit. So Alabama minus 18.5 for 1 full unit. And we're going team total over 5.5 for the Blue Jays at a half a unit at minus 135. You can find that at BetMGM. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. In the Discord channel at SportsTalkMatt. Same thing. I will talk to you in the Discord channel. We're back every morning right here on BettingPros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.